Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cleaning and Cocktails. This is a special one though. I know you think that you guys have maybe seen me do it once before, but we're gonna do cleaning and coffee, right? Cleaning and coffee and what do we say, Carrie? Collagen. Cleaning, coffee, and
collagen. We both have our collagen going because we're both over the big 40.
Triple C episode here. So I've got Carrie Lage. Did I get that right?
You got it.
Yes.
You got the name.
Carrie Lage out of Arizona, Phoenix, but we'll say Scottsdale. And she is a CEO and founder of Carried Away. She helps cleaning business owners or service business owners in general elevate their sales. She is a seasoned sales leader. We're going to talk a lot about not just sales, but leadership. I've got to know Carrie over the past couple of years, and we'll talk about how we met for the first time. But Carrie, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the Cleaning and Cocktails audience and community.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ricky. And thank you for the opportunity. I know we have connected before, and it was so awesome that you posted on my LinkedIn and said, hey, let's connect, let's get on this. And I love being able to connect and share with you a little bit more about what I'm doing now with Carried Away and how I can assist cleaning companies really elevate their sales. So I've been a seasoned sales professional. I've managed sales teams. I always say 15 plus years, but it's probably closer to 20. And really just taking them from wherever they're at in their journey at their company when they're ready to elevate, or maybe they're ready to break into adding some outside sales reps, or the owner's just tired of doing it all. That's really where I want to come in and help them elevate their business. So I'm here to share a little bit more about my journey today and hopefully be able to assist some of these cleaning companies grow their sales and make some money.
Nice. Carrie, we've said it many times before. I'm sure you agree. We'll talk about your journey in the industry too, but sales, it's got to be top two, right? I always hear it as sales is a pain point for a cleaning business owner, and then staffing is a pain point. I'm on the notion of, I agree with staffing is probably even number one. Labor is always tough, but I'm always thinking about, you can't hire if you're not selling, right? Like if you don't have sales, you can't hire that next person.
Yeah, I walk them through in the very beginning. Maybe they say, hey, I'm interested. I send out a questionnaire. I probably know the top kind of 10 in the industry, and I'm still learning along the way, right? I don't pretend to know all of this. I'll say, I haven't heard that before. Let me check with you. A lot of it is maybe limited brand awareness. They're not even putting themselves out there to attract the sales. Maybe they're at those kind of infancy stages where it's just the owner grinding right now, trying to find that business. And then they're scared, right? It's, do I have a night manager that can handle this? Do I have a team at night that can clean this building? Or am I going to be the one stuck there till 2 a.m, which that happens, right? I walk through at that point in their business, where are they feeling the pain? And I give them some hints along the way, because sometimes that stuff's kind of hard to think of. It's, no, I think I'm doing pretty good. And then they read it and they're like, yeah, I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not with any of my local chambers. I don't even have sales messaging. What is she talking about? So there are some things where I walk them through. Maybe they're a little further along and they do have a sales team, and it's still maybe the owner managing, and they're not ready to take a step yet with hiring a director, a sales manager, or a VP. I also can come in and assist them with maybe just some sales process techniques. They maybe have a proposal put together, but we want to customize it. and do that sort of thing. So what I like about it is it's completely customizable, and I really dive in and just help them individually where they're at. They're not going to really fit in a package sometimes, right?
Yeah. No, it's very custom. Each business owner is unique. Now let's talk about, before we jump further into sales, let's talk about how did you get into the cleaning industry? I know you started with a big brand, Cintas, right? Can you talk about that journey on, I know salespeople and sales leadership, you're not just born with it. A lot of it is a craft and you work on it, but the cleaning industry in general, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I had actually always been in hospitality, and I actually see a lot of similarities. I think the individuals that are out serving others, I think of hospitality, I was always in catering, management, selling really big events, weddings, which are highly emotional. And I did that for the whole front part of my career. And it wasn't until I got married and had my son that what changed was all of a sudden I'm working every night, weekend, and holiday, and I'm sitting there missing these memories with my family. So I thought, I have to pivot and make a change. And my girlfriend at the time was working for a company out of Vegas. She's, hey, I think they have an opening in Phoenix. I'm going, what is this? What am I going to be selling? Mats, mops, towels, uniforms, right? The big sexy industry of facility services. And it was really daunting. It was scary. I'd never done outside sales before. I'd never just parked my car and went and knocked on a door saying, hey, can we talk to you about your chemicals? And what are you doing for cleaning your floors? I was really stretching to put myself out there. I had only known hospitality, but I will say the one thing that is similar within the industries is you are coming across people, like I said, that like to serve others. And what I liked about it was I had a very serious fear of failure. So it was just, I don't care how nervous you are, Carrie, you got to get out of your car and you got to go meet some people and give them your business card and really talk to them about how I genuinely felt every company I've worked at, I knew the value we had. So selling it was so easy because it was something that company needed, right? When you uncovered their pain points, it wasn't really selling anymore. It was just helping them become better. So I also wouldn't really sell for something I didn't believe in because I just morally, it's just not my thing. And I've walked away from many deals where I was like, this isn't going to be a good fit. I merely got into it to make more time for my family. And I'm so excited at the career move that I made because it led me to where I am today.
Yeah, that's what I say. Obviously something worked that you stayed in the industry and you kept progressing and growing in the industry, right?
Yeah.
I heard you say two things that I want to address and I love, we're on the same wavelength on it, is hospitality. I totally agree. And it's funny, like even, I got to invite you out to my office in Chicago, Carrie, but in our Rosalato office, we have it on the wall that one of our values and missions is a hospitality driven approach to this industry. That's what we're trying to provide.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I'm a foodie. Me and my wife love to go to restaurants. Our kids love going to eat out. We enjoy it with family time. There's nothing like getting great service at a restaurant. And like you're greeted at the front door. The server's phenomenal. The bar back is awesome. The food runner is great. They're smiling. It's just, you feel good to be there. Same thing for us as cleaning service company owners is why don't we give our clients, not just our clients, but our employees, that white glove, feel good service. I feel like the payoff is going to be there forever. So I love that you said that. I think that I totally agree with that should be the approach. And then the second piece to it was it's not selling anymore if you're addressing a pain point.
Yeah.
Sales is out the door. You're addressing a pain point. Could you dig a little deeper on that?
I think people get really nervous because they're always like, I'm not really salesy or that just gives me bad vibes. And I say, if their intent is just to be a sleazy salesperson, that would also give me a bad vibe. But I think anyone that meets me, I sit there and go, does it feel like I'm pressuring you into something or selling you something you don't need? I'm just not going to do that. And I think true sales professionals get to a place where if they have uncovered those pain points and understand that they can help a client and a business progress, then like I said, it's actually helping them. And I think there's just a great feeling about doing something like that. You had talked about one of your core values, and it's funny, mine was my number one is personalized service. I just believe in tailoring the approach. It is to their unique needs, right? Every client, every experience is going to be different. And you have to go into each sales kind of process or cycle with a new client differently and assess the situation. And I had mentioned it before, I've walked away from a lot of deals where I just said, I don't think this is a great fit for our company. Or I said, I don't really know if you're really at that stage yet, right? Because there's lengthy contracts, right? Cintas especially, it's usually a 5-year agreement.
Oh my
Sometimes
God,
companies were just starting out. They didn't know where they were going to be. And I felt, just pause, give yourself another 6 months or whatever. If they really want to move forward, of course, right? But I think I always tried to feel like I had their best interests at heart. And in the end, you're going to win that way. And even if it's not a client right then and there, I think if you've treated them right and provided that personalized service, you might not win them right then and there, but later in life or later down the road, you might meet again. And I think it's all about leaving that kind of lasting impression that you left them in a good place. And it's about employees too, right? How many interviews did people have where I sat there and said, make sure that you have a personalized service when you are onboarding your team, because even if they don't take a step forward with you, you need to leave them with a good impression that you're a great company and you have great hiring practices. So leave it in a positive way, even if that candidate didn't move forward with your company, right? It's the same with clients.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. So as I'm hearing you speak, so you're in the industry, Cintas early on, you're selling mats, I've got many mats at our office from
Toilet
Cintas.
paper.
Toilet paper. I got it. Cintas has a great brand. So I'm sure you got a lot
It does. And I majority, I was a uniform sales rep. So I did uniforms, mainly elevating that team, getting from whether it's an auto body shop, coming from just regular coveralls to something branded with their name. It was always about safety, security. If somebody's knocking on your front door from an AC company, I want to know that they're in uniform with their name and that's who is supposed to be coming out, right? There's a lot of correlation when you then get to janitorial and someone's showing up at your building at night to clean, right? You want some kind of branding, name, ID badge. It's so funny how many similarities there are from when I went from hospitality to Cintas. I then progressed and moved into a regional janitorial company. From there, was a GM here locally for a franchise. Every element along the way, I've definitely learned a lot about myself, but also maybe where I wanted to be in my career and focusing on my strengths, because there's a lot of areas that are not my strength. And that's where you surround yourself with a really great team. And that's what I would, highly recommend, right?
No, when I see where because as you just gave us that step-by-step, a lot of those companies I know that you worked at, big brands, they're big on branding. So it makes sense for you to feel so big on branding, right? Like you experienced it as in the growth of your career. So let's talk about that growth though. So you did go from Cintas isn't a traditional janitorial service provider, but then you did go to the regional and then you went to where I met you is Citywide.
Yeah.
How was
over
the jump?
at Citywide, I met with the local owner here and just really liked what they were doing. Whoops. I'm just raising my desk here. Sorry about that. Really liked what they were doing here in the local community. A big reason I maybe stepped away from the previous company was it was mainly travel. You start elevating within a company and maybe I didn't set my boundaries good enough in the beginning where I was just saying yes. I was like, I'll take the promotion. Yeah. I'll take another state. Let's go. I love it. I'm competitive like that. But then you wake up one day, a couple years later, and you're like, how did I get myself in the same situation? What am I doing? So the fact that I could work for a local company here that was actually part of a larger organization, but I was focused here in Tempe and it worked great for my family. And at that time, just being present. And I think as we've progressed, really last summer, I stepped away from Citywide, and really only because I just got to a place where I was ready to take this leap of faith into myself and serving my family, but a kind of more of a passion project that I just thought, why not? Because if it doesn't work out, I can go back to the industry I was in and be successful, and I'm fine with that. But for my time right now, why wouldn't I try this? And what,
Yeah.
fear of failure? And get out there and try it. And if you fail, it's okay.
That's what I was going to say is having sales skill set and sales leadership is very needed in our space. So I'm pretty sure you'll have a job here with me if you ever need to get back into the industry.
Okay, I'm going to take you to it.
But no, I love, yeah. So actually, let's talk about that. Or actually, first, let's spend a little bit of time on Citywide. Like so you can give some foundation on people on the experience on what were you responsible for there at Citywide as far as what you built out and then how that transitioned into what you built with Carried Away over those years that you were growing that market?
So when I was with Citywide, it was new to me. I'd always come from the sales side. And so when I worked with the owner and he wanted to bring me on, it was the general manager title. So now it's overseeing, it was actually 2 different franchises. We were just shy of about an $11 million business when I came on, and really what it was overseeing everything, which I had never done before. I had just been focused on the sales side, but something that I knew I could do was focus on people and processes. I could elevate a culture and I could really dig down onto what's broken. Let's list out all the issues. Let's start focusing on them and tackling them, and then we'll just start getting through them. And my main focus coming on was really almost like a rebranding of the culture. So we brought on like a core value award, and it was something that we nominated teammates for. And every quarter we had a big quarterly business meeting where we had raffles and we brought in our night managers, and it was the whole team. It was really just like bringing everybody together to celebrate our successes. And yeah, sales were great, or operations, but what really was important was focusing on those individuals that really lived by the core values of the company, because to me, that was the best branding that could be out there, right?
That's
sure,
awesome.
Your name is great, but if they really know how you treated other people or companies or took care of them or did what you say you were going to do, that's really what we wanted our team doing when they were out in the field or working in the office. So a lot of it was the people part, just getting that kind of back to where people really wanted to stay and we could attract top talent because of who we already had on the team, right?
Yeah.
We did elevate that. And then looking at processes, there was just some almost simple things that we just needed some training on. We needed everybody to just get back to kind of like a level set base. And then we just revamped some of the training and in-person meetings, bringing sales and ops together, the night team, doing that, right? Because a lot of times,
I was going to ask you.
That's what's broken. A lot.
Carrie, that's a great, I want to double down on that piece right there for people to listen to and get some advice from you. Because I've started to notice as I see organizations at different stages in growth, that disconnect between sales and ops, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, they are different departments. They're going to operate a little different. Maybe some of the processes are going to be different. But I want to ask you, is there any examples of some of the processes that you maybe fixed or improved that connected sales and ops where you saw a great result come out of that?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to, few things, right? So I'll try to stay on track because I'm
Go ahead. No, give them to me. Give them to me. Those
like
are good.
Squirrel. I'd really start with, the first thing was bringing everyone together. Once sales sells something, we needed to have some kind of handoff to operations. I think in the past it had been maybe like, shoot a text, yo, sold something in your territory. Good luck. Whoa, okay. Hold up. How about, right? In the sales ops handoff, it really should be sales there with the operations team, meeting the client, walking through their discovery worksheet. What are we actually going to be doing for the client? And before that, though, even happens, we should have been having some kind of pre-meeting to really talk about it. Hey, what are some pain points? Hot buttons. Do not do this. This is what the last company did. Guys, we got to really make sure we're spot on with this, whatever it was, to the client's needs. And so having a pre-meeting that wasn't just a text message. So many things get lost or misinterpreted if it's just over email. If I am telling you here, hey, Ricky, we're about to meet with Mark with XYZ, he, oh my gosh, goes crazy over the ledges. So when we're in, I need you to really chat about how we're going to do this and our nighttime checklist. This is what we're going to talk about, or the dusting, or whatever it is. To me expressing that to you, I'm not going to let Carrie down. I want to make sure I take this and run with it.
Yeah.
It's that face to face. So I really wanted to get that going. So that was number one. And then we started doing meetings where the whole team is together, where we can talk about what happened at the new start. Are we good to go? Did we have some issues? Hey, I don't know what sales was thinking, but when we really walked through it, every door is an exterior door and needs a different key. The amount of time to get to every single room on campus, there's not enough time here. We got to talk about that. Is it awkward to go back to the client? Yeah. But do you want to lose it in 3 weeks? I'd rather be upfront with somebody and say, hey, we got to chat with you about this. If you're not having those meetings on a regular basis to discuss your business and showcase maybe where you made some mistakes, sales can never get better and ops can never get better. So I think what that does is it also brings the team together, because if ops is giving feedback to sales and sales is, you know what, you're right, I should have allowed for more time.
Yeah.
My bad on that. They're going to do better next time.
They're going to do better. There's empathy for each other, because what happens a lot of times, right? You hear it. It's a common theme in our industry is sales and ops, they go at it, right? It's like sales oversold, ops can't deliver. And it's, oh man, if you did it, again, it's a daily struggle. Nobody's perfect, but I like some of those things that you're calling out, right? The discovery.
Yeah. And if you have a big enough, and if you have a big enough team, I really like to pair them off into territories. So right into sections. So if you had a large enough team, some aren't going to be there yet, but if they are, pair a salesperson up with one of your account managers or whoever's on the ops team in that area. And I think if they can tag team a couple of those larger deals together, there's something in it for the ops team when they all of a sudden start getting brought in. Because to me, my ops team is the one that's checking in with clients every day. They're closer with the night team and who's actually doing the cleaning. So why wouldn't I rely on my own team to help me with some kind of team sale? And so if they brought in a lead, they got like a referral bonus. And if they helped us sell like a deep clean on the front side, we would absolutely pay them out. So there was some skin in the game, right? To work together, take each other out to lunch, buy them a coffee, meet them in their territory, say, hey, this is my account manager. Should we move forward? I just wanted to make sure you had a face with a name, and they're going to be there to check in on you on a weekly basis and meet with you. It's, oh, wow. You're not just some pamphlet that you've dropped off. These are real people. So that lent itself well, and it started to create more of a team within territories too. So I think that was really good.
So that was awesome. I'm going to talk to you offline about that. Just because I think there's a couple things too.
Ricky.
There's a couple things, Carrie. You hear me? Yeah. So you talk about, so everything's custom though, right? Don't you agree that not every company grows the same way? Not every market is the same. But is there some type of framework or playbook where a company, let's say a company under $1 million in revenue, they're trying to grow, they're trying to establish a foundation in a market. What's an example of a good org chart? Again, we don't have to go too deep in it, but you say the word account manager, you've said it a couple of times. I've seen it on people's org charts. I've not seen it on some people. Is that a role that you think is important for a company that is trying to grow within a market? Like, what is
you're
an
the
account
face
manager?
of the company. You're the brand.
Okay.
So selling against that company would look something like this. So Ricky, walk me through, if you have some kind of issue, how are you getting in touch with people? They say, oh, I
text message and
I text message. Oh, okay, great. And is that who usually works at night too? Are they available for you during the day? It's usually a no, right? So I feel like I would sell against that all day long. I'm like, this is my account manager. They're here on a monthly, weekly, whatever the revenue is for the account, I think would determine how often they're there. Maybe they're there every other month, whatever it is. But there's an actual physical person that gets to come by and say, hi, Ricky, I'm Carrie, your account manager. I want you to have my business card, but should you need anything, I just want you to work with me, and I will chat with my night crew or my other ops team or whatever's going on with, of course, they have somebody in the office for billing or invoice questions, but they could start there. I like that they had one point of contact, right? And then that person, it's like your triage, they're at the nucleus, and then they go work behind the scenes. Hey, Ricky, we were able to take care of that yesterday. Let me know if that gets better over the next week, and I'll be back next week to check in on you again. Oh, okay, I like this. So that was something that The last 2 companies I've worked at, we benefited from that model, that org chart.
I like that. I'm just thinking of, I've heard customer success, we have client success, but it sounds like it does a lot what this account manager would do. Now, what about, again, it's a whole other topic, right? But quality and quality control, inspections, things like that. Mm-hmm. Do you think, is that a part of this account manager's role?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
So
okay.
They should be able to, if they have the technology. Is Route doing that? What's going on?
Let's go.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
No, but talking about quality control, right? You are out on a route. You're able to punch in notes about the building, scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What did you notice? Can you bring that attention to your client? It's not like I'm talking bad about myself, but sometimes when you're able to bring stuff to their attention, they're like, oh, yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I feel like you're on my team here, right? Hey, if you noticed in the hallway, you got a light bulb out. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. And then while I was here, it looked like everything else was up to par. It looks like all your levels are great for your supplies. Is there anything I've been missing? No, I think you're on it. It's great. Thanks so much. Or, hey, I have a complaint. Let's escalate that. Let me get my night team on it. And then that next day, hey, Ricky, I went ahead and looked into what happened last night. I think we figured it out. Dilution wasn't great for the chemicals. That was the film you saw on the floor. This is what we can do now moving forward. They feel like they've been heard and you followed up with me. That's that proactive behavior, right? Whether you're in sales or ops, the client might.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, think about, Carrie, it's still not, yes, you could consider what we're talking about right now more operational, but if you think about it, it creates retention. So if you're retaining the client, that's sales, right?
That's a win. We want that. We want to keep them.
Yeah, that's hand in hand. Now, I got to believe this also helps the sales side then. Like, it gives you firepower and knowledge, or it gives the sales, whether it's a person, it's a team, it could be the same person, right? Like, it gives you knowledge on how to price better moving forward too, because now you have references, right, on certain situations that happen with certain accounts.
Yeah, especially with
multiple
specific verticals, right, or clients, right? So whether you're in schools, churches, commercial buildings, Class A versus like a Class B or C, they're going to have different client needs. You actually have to sell those differently. You have to price them differently. The client is different. Sometimes you have clients that are more educated than others in facility services. So they're going to have higher expectations of you and your team. There were times that I knew if I was working with a facility services manager for a school district or a hospital or something like that, I'm bringing my team with me because I can sell and price per square foot, but they're the ones doing it, and I'm not going to act like I'm the one doing it. So I am always, you got to be humble enough to be like, yeah, this is not what I do, but this is what they do, and I trust my team, and I brought them with me so that when you have specific questions, I know they have the answers. And
then I think you look professional too, though. It's like, all right, Carrie is who is the sales, the service side, and you got this. Boom. I have a team here to address my needs.
Yeah, I go and find the deals. I'm going to hunt for the deals. I'm going to find them. And then I'm going to bring in my team to support me. I think from a client perspective, I appreciate that.
I expect that. I appreciate it.
Almost like those are specialists, right? But that's professional to me. So I think you can know enough about it, but I'm not going to sit back here and pretend that I'm the one who has cleaned the buildings and done all of that. I haven't. That was not my experience. But I can tell you that I have the utmost respect for my team that did it. And I was so appreciative because they did such a great job. I was able to use those references and go get more business for the company.
And it's crazy. So, Carrie, as I'm hearing you talk, and I hope people that are hearing and listening as well or watching, you know your shit, in my opinion, right? Like, you've been through it. You've gone through it. This is not just a sales episode, right? The operation side, which I think to me makes you a very knowledgeable, whether you want to call yourself a coach, a consultant, an advisor, like that's how we connected is we sat down, talked. I asked you questions. I wanted to learn some stuff of the Phoenix market. You openly shared it and we hit it off. And then now I've gone to you for more advice down the road. So people know, right? Like, we've gotten to know each other, and I think what you're doing with Carried Away, I want to jump into that next now, is you are a vital resource, I think, for people that want to learn a little bit more about how to build their business from multiple sides. And the fact that we talked about both sales and ops, it makes you a little dangerous from both sides and very helpful for these small business owners, especially because I know when I was building, Carrie, it was instinct. I did not know what was behind that door that I was opening. So I think we should take advantage of people like yourself, not take advantage of people like yourself, take advantage of the fact that you've gone through some of this. You have some of this knowledge. So talk about Carried Away now, like your mission with that, your goal. I know we've touched on it a little bit, but share a little bit about more, because I could see where this has led to this now.
Yeah. For me, it's really just to empower those small to medium-sized businesses by really taking a look and a personalized approach at their current sales process, maybe where they're at, where they want to go. So then I can provide some consulting or coaching to get them there, right? Some sort of roadmap. And a lot of it is accountability. I was lucky enough that when I was at Citywide, I had a coach that I met with on a weekly basis. And I look back now, I was so grateful then, but I look back now and take a look at, man, every week it was like, I know he's going to ask about this, so I need to get going, right? Yeah. And if he's telling me this works, I'm going to listen and do it because I want to win and serve my team and do well. So a lot of what I've implemented is the same, right? So there might be some, based on what they're looking at, some weekly calls to say, hey, where are we at on that? Hey, we were going to work on some one-on-one agendas for you and your sales team. Where are we at on that? Okay. You haven't scheduled those yet. Why not? Let's walk through it, right? Because if these are business owners that are just getting started, or they're at that 1 million mark, or just going up to 5 million, they're crossing all these hurdles, more often than not, they sometimes could be a night manager some weekends, right? They might be the face of the company, so they're going to all the networking events, they're selling the business, they're pricing the business. They're like, why are you making me do these things? And it's because eventually we need you here doing these strategic things, and you're going to need to start hiring and delegating people to do all this other stuff, right? You probably know, even with Route and your success, Ricky, where you guys have gotten at such a quick pace, it's whoa. But then now how do we scale this thing so that we're in every single state across the United States, right? Kind of building some of that framework where you're just duplicating it market after market, really helping them with some kind of personalized service, assess where they're at, what they deem is important at that time, and then we just start to work together. So I have certain packages where I just take a look. It's like an intro. We work through a questionnaire, and I just assess and maybe do 1 or 2 coaching calls after that. There's also 6 months. I want a couple quarters under our belt to really assess the sales team and get in there and figure out what's going on. And anywhere in between really is what I would like to provide for them. I think what's great about it is it's a new company for me, and I'm learning along the way. And they're going to get a lot from me because I genuinely want to do well and I don't want to fail. So I will absolutely be going above and beyond for these clients.
Carrie, that's awesome, man. I hope, and again, everybody that's on and listening will have all of Carrie's information, how to contact her down below. Because I think this is something people should, if they're looking for help, they're looking for somebody who's got knowledge and to help them at their stage. Because to me, it's so important about the stage of their business, Carrie, because there's things that I'm sure you're doing for them to say, here's where you are today. You know, you're a $350,000 in revenue company. There's only so much you can afford at this point. But let's talk about what does the budget allow for? What is your goal? Oh, you want to get to here. Okay, let's talk about how do we have to allocate budget for there? Because I think there's a difference between where you are today and where you want to get to. Yeah, you want to get to there, but you've got to be able to afford time and money to get there. But I think there's nothing better than some kind of roadmap. And I think that's what you're talking about too, is that's what you try to work on. And I got to tell you, man, a roadmap is king. You don't have the secret, what is it called? The silver bullet, but a roadmap is that, right? At least I know where I'm trying
help
to
you get there. Yeah, and you need to hit those milestones along the way, right? Or even if you're goal setting, it's really scary and daunting to be like, oh my gosh, is that where I'm going to be next year? How do I even get there? Where do I start? And it's like, just some baby steps, right? You got the goal at the top, and then what tasks are you accomplishing along the way? We're going to come up with some goals quarterly, annually, that sort of thing. And then we'll work with the company to knock off some of these tasks along the way that maybe if they just never had that accountability, they weren't getting it done. Maybe they knew how, but they need someone to push them along. So I'll be that coach. I'll be that person.
Awesome. Carrie, this is something I got to get better at in the episodes too. I always forget to ask, but is there a quote, a statement, a book, or something you've come across? Because it's one thing to be a leader within an organization like you were in many of the organizations. And then there's a thing to take that catapult into developing what you've done with Carried Away and building something for yourself. I know family, you said it many times, it was a big trigger for this, but is there anything, a statement, a quote, a book, a moment in your life where you were like, this is it, I want to do something for Carrie?
Yeah, so I have a quote, and it goes back to many years ago when I played softball in college, and I always had it up in my locker. Sometimes I had it written down on my back pocket, but it was always the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. And I always feel like if you're that sales rep, just knock on 5 more doors. I always said 5 phone calls after 5, right? Or do whatever it is. It's that little extra that's going to propel you forward. For me, diving into Carried Away has been something I've thought about and just never really pushed myself to take that next step. And I think finally putting the confidence in myself, right? I've worked for so many other companies. I've had amazing mentors, coaches. I am so thankful for the people that I've come across that I've been able to work with and serve. But finally putting that effort into myself that this is going to work and I'm going to do this for me and to serve others, but to put myself first for a minute to create Carried Away and take the time to really to work on that and give it my valiant effort. So I'd say it's the difference between extra and extraordinary is that little extra.
I love that. I had heard that before, but it has been some time since I've heard it. So thank you for bringing that up. It's such a true statement. It is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary.
Yeah, nobody wants to be like here. You want to be up here, right?
Yeah, I have to. So one more bit to end with, and as we come to a close, Carrie, is how does it feel that you're a mother, a wife, you're in, I think, at a stage that you're about to even elevate yourself even more. And people would say, we're up against time, right? We're always up against time. But do you feel like this is a moment in your life, and how does it feel as that kind of person in the place that you're at, that you've got all these years ahead of you right now to get after?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a big step.
It is, and it makes you nervous, right? Family, 2 incomes, going to, let's take this leap of faith. But I say for even the people out there that have been thinking about it, I feel like those years of working and serving others and joining the night crew with pizza to say, hey, thanks guys, this was a big sale, I appreciate you, and all those things along the way that I did, and the really hard parts of working, I'd never been a GM. I will probably never be a GM again. It wasn't a negative. I just know where my strengths are at, but I'm so thankful I got to do that experience and learn so much more about a team environment and processes and the ops team and what really goes into making a business successful, because I don't feel like I'd be able to sit here today and do this if I didn't have that experience. Yeah, I feel like I have a lot ahead of me and I'm really excited. I love the opportunity that I was able to get on here with you. Even just meeting, I don't even know, was it about 1.5 years ago? Maybe it was 2 years. Guys, put some trust in your relationships in LinkedIn and the people you meet. And you never know where it'll take you. And I agree with that.
Yes. Carrie, thank you so much. I appreciate you for your time. I enjoyed my cleaning.
Thank you for doing a morning time. It's not that I'm indulging those cocktails. It's just...
No, hey, I need this. I'm refreshed right now. I'm ready to go. I got the whole day ahead of me here. No, I appreciate you, Carrie. As always, everybody, that we're going to have all her contact info, everything about Carried Away, all her social tags. Carrie, I'm sure you're open for everybody contacting you. I would take advantage to contact Carrie and reach out to her for any questions you have at any stage of your company. So, Carrie, we are over and out. I appreciate you. Everybody at Cleaning and Cocktails community, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Appreciate it.